The trade deadline is heating up. What is going on, everyone? Braxton from Angle here again with another update on during the trade deadline. Just want to briefly run through some of the trades that happened in the meantime since we just dropped the previous trade alert. First up, the Charlotte Hornets have traded Gordon Hayward for Trey Mann, Davis Bertans, Vasilij Micic, and some draft compensation. Just to run through the fantasy impacts here, Gordon Hayward. For some reason, you own Hayward in a redraft league right now. You've held him all this time. Really, the only silver lining here is that he should be playing meaningful minutes again in games this season. Although I think it's extremely unlikely he gets nearly the usage he had for Charlotte. He's probably going to be leading that bench unit when he does play. And I just don't think there's nearly as many touches to go around for him in Oklahoma City as there was in Charlotte. Trey Mann becomes a deeper league speculative ad for me. He's definitely going to play on this Hornets team. They're running out of players, especially if they trade PJ Washington later today. I know they've already said Miles Bridges won't be approving any trades. LaMelo Ball is banged up, as we know, and it's just unclear how much he's going to be playing down the stretch with that ankle issue. They're ruling him out 1 or 2 days in advance every time in these last week or two. So Trey Mann is definitely going to be playing. Micic is somebody I like as well on this Hornets squad. Not that he fits like the long-term window or anything like that, but he's definitely going to get some run down the stretch here, I think, just because they need somebody that can handle the ball that isn't Cody Martin. Micic is a former EuroLeague MVP, and he's demonstrated that he's able to, he looks pretty good in his limited time with Oklahoma City this season. Like I mentioned, LaMelo Ball is banged up, and I mean, they got to have a point guard, and Trey Mann doesn't really fit that prototypical mold. Neither does Nick Smith Jr. Those guys are both kind of scorers first. So I expect Ish Smith to completely fall out of the rotation, as much as I love Ish moving forward. Next, it was Alec Burks and Bogdanovic to the Knicks for Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Evan Fournier, and 2 seconds. I love the Grimes additions for Grimes owners. I love the Pistons move. He was really falling out of favor in New York with Thibodeau, and the Pistons seem to have something else up their sleeve. They have something like 17 or 18 guys or not officially under contract, but on the team right now with pending trades and such. So I expect them to kind of clear some of that out to open up some minutes for Grimes down the stretch here. They did just acquire Daniel House as well, I think, for a pick. They received a pick to take on the Daniel House contract from Philadelphia. Killian Hayes is in rumors. I think the point is, I think Grimes is going to be able to play. If you're a dynasty owner of Grimes, I definitely would be excited about that. I don't think he's redraft relevant this year, but definitely some upside here for Grimes. Bojan is definitely going to see his usage decrease on an actually good team. And in 12 teamers, he may trend towards a drop just based on his inability to rack up any kind of defensive stats. This is also very bad for Josh Hart. He's definitely going to see his minutes decrease over the past week or two since Randall's gone down. He's put up some really nice lines, but he's been playing 38, 40 minutes a game. So it's just purely on how much he's out there. If he drops back down to that 24, 26 minute range again, I don't think he's going to be relevant in 12 teamers. 14, keep him, but I think he gets a little bit closer to where he was in the beginning of the season before that Randall injury. And then Burks is definitely going to take a large hit in value as well. I know he's not owning a ton of leagues, redraft leagues, but it seems like they've brought him in just to kind of take some of the load off of guys like DiVincenzo and Hart, like I mentioned. I'd be surprised if he's surpassing 20 minutes a night. And I think it's really possible this interferes with Miles McBride as the backup point guard if they decide they want to roll with Burks as the backup point guard. So I'm not worried about McBride as a dynasty asset because of that extension they gave him. They've already demonstrated their confidence in him and as a long-term piece. But if you're holding McBride in a deep redraft league for some reason, he's definitely a drop to me. Next is Daniel Gafford to the Mavericks for Rashawn Holmes and a couple picks. For Gafford, it's unclear how this affects his value to me. I mean, he's demonstrated that he's able to put up some numbers in limited minutes. I don't know if I don't think his value really goes up or down here. I do think he'll be he's going to be a nice rim runner for Luka moving forward. So he's definitely he might see some cleaner looks. So that kind of plays into the fact that maybe he's able to put up similar production on less minutes in Dallas. But I think the big loser here is Derek Lively, who is not going to get as many minutes as he can handle moving forward. He was playing so much just out of necessity. I mean, they didn't really have anybody else at the center position they're comfortable with. They clearly didn't like Rashawn Holmes in that backup spot. He was really only getting spot minutes. So I think we could see close to an even split between Lively and Gafford right now, especially since neither one of them can shoot. They can't really play next to each other. For the Wizards, I'm not really sure what the plan is here. I guess Rashawn Holmes likely enters the rotation, and he goes probably not split down the middle. Bagley probably gets the majority of the minutes, but Mahomes could be a speculative pickup in deeper redraft leagues. He's shown that he's very efficient when he does play, and it's still kind of unclear if he's actually regressed from that high-end fantasy asset he was a couple years ago, or if he's just been blocked for such a long period of time, behind Sabonis, obviously, and I guess behind Lively in Dallas. Not too excited about him, but if you're in a 16-teamer or something, feel free to grab him. Marvin Bagley, like I just said, once he's healthy, he's going to play so much, a massive workload. He's a huge winner here. He's definitely going to put up some crazy stat lines with points and rebounds. The defensive stats are yet to be seen. Would be nice for him to grab a couple of those, and I think he's a big pickup for redraft leagues. Dynasty owners, I'd be very happy as well, especially since he's under contract for another year at least. I do want to add, in terms of the Wizards actually winning games, this is definitely not going to help them. This is a big tanking move. They might, allow 150 points per game, but good thing we don't worry about that when we're talking about fantasy. So just to recap, Bagley, get him now in redraft leagues. Huge winner, should put up awesome stat lines down the stretch. But with that being said, hoping for more straights down closer to the deadline here, and you'll be hearing from us again soon. Thanks, guys.